Hi, everybody. Welcome to another high-speed episode of Homeownership Heroes. I'm your badass host, Bryan Bergjans.
And I am the intense Bostonian Rick Bettencourt.
Bostonian. I like that, man. Well, Rick, today we're going to talk about something I'm 1,000% passionate about, and that's occupancy. I see this all the time with VA transactions.
So right.
It doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter what lender or anything. Occupancy always tends to be a major hiccup.
Right.
For no reason.
It doesn't. I think a lot of times, we see this often where an active duty soldier is overseas, not CONUS, like CONUS, right? Yep. And next thing you know, they want to buy a house, and this lender says, sorry, he's not here, he can't close. Hey guys, listen, FYI, the spouse satisfies occupancy requirement per the regulation. It's okay. So if your wife or your husband or your spouse is here in the U.S., and you're CONUS or you're outside the continental United States, it's okay. The wife or husband is going to satisfy the occupancy requirement, and I think that is oftentimes not articulated properly to our active duty personnel.
No, and even if you're not married, you can still close with the power of attorney back in the States.
That's correct. As long as you have a dependent or a guardian that is going to be in the area and you have a relationship tie to the community, then that's fine. If you're not married, but you've been living with your grandmother, your grandfather, your son or whatnot, and let's say your grandfather or your father is watching your son and they're in your property, the VA home loan benefit was designed to not make it difficult to buy a house, to make it a lot easier. That's why we call it the story loan.
Yeah, and another thing too is, so let's take a step back from just military. Let's talk about veterans with occupancy, because there's a lot of veterans who work in locations that are far away from where they want to live, and they have to commute. Some people have to go to, XYZ on Monday, and they don't come back to home until Friday. And when you have scenarios like that, some lenders are like, nope, doesn't mean occupancy, which couldn't be further from the truth.
Couldn't be further from the truth. We see this a lot in first responders, especially firefighters, where they have a very unique schedule, 24 on, 24 off, 24 on, then 4 off. And New England, it's not uncommon in New England where you could be in 6 different states in under an hour and a half, right? Maine, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Vermont, Rhode Island, Mass, all different. So, yeah, we've had firefighters that live in Maine but work for a Boston or a Massachusetts-based fire department. That's okay. The regulation says intend to occupy as your primary resident, and I believe if you have community or relationship ties in that area. So that's not a problem either. I think from an occupancy standpoint, though, if you're trying to game the system, that's also an issue too.
Well, that's a big issue, because you got people that occupy for 24 hours, and next you know they go and buy, they're like, oh, I'm gonna go buy another house. Well, that doesn't work that way.
And there has been cases in the U.S. where the VA has found out through various means where a veteran bought the house owner occupied. The neighbors, for whatever reason, contacted the VA and said the person that bought this house never really moved in. That triggered the acceleration clause that's in the mortgage. VA required that particular property to be paid off within 30 days because he never or she never occupied the property as their primary residence. The benefit was designed to help you own a home, make it yours. So at closing, the intent is to occupy as your primary residence. And generally, you must occupy within 60 days of closing. There's a little bit of wiggle room there, but you must occupy within 60 days.
Yeah, one thing I would just say is the VA is pretty flexible, on occupancy. So if you don't know, or if you're unsure, pick up the phone, call the RLC and ask, and run that scenario by them. Do not allow whatever various underwriter or whatever dictate what is going to satisfy occupancy for the VA. Let the VA tell you that. And
RLC simply means Regional Loan Center, you guys. You can find that on Google. You can look it up, and it's all done by region. But you are allowed to call the RLC, speak to a loan analyst, put your question out there, have them email it to you, and that's sort of your evidence.
Yep. Well, hey, listen, if you have any questions about what we covered, occupancy is a big deal. So if you have any unique scenarios or whatever, and you just want to bounce it off somebody, you can reach us at military@caliberhomeloans.com. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Homeownership Heroes. I'm your dabbing expert.